Title belts to Hall of Fame. Doug and Tommy carved the name. Fists of fury and hearts of gold. Every story, every fight retold. Tales of glory, laughter, cry. Tennessee warriors with hearts open wide. In the ring or on the air, legends living without a care. On the mic they roar, on the mat they soar. Dangerous conversations, fans wanting more. Podcast kings ruling the waves. Memphis wrestling raising the stage.
Hey everybody, welcome back once again to Dangerous Conversations with Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Tommy Wildfire Rich. Guys, we've made it through another week and it's time to sit down and talk some wrestling again.
Man, it sure is, Gene, and I'm sure happy to be here, and I'm sure Tommy is also, and everything. And man, I can't wait to get into some stories that you want to talk about tonight.
And hey, man, it's been rainy in Myrtle Beach, but today it is beautiful. Laid out by the pool a little bit, had a couple of Coors Lights. Mountains was blue. Let me tell you, Myrtle Beach, the mountains was blue. Hey, it's good to hear from y'all. Good to be here. Hey, to all the fans out there, man, it's just a pleasure, man. I always looking forward to every show we do.
Listen, we got coming up. I know Gene knows a ton of stuff as far as dates and stuff, but we got Mayfield Mayhem, Mayfield, Kentucky. Tommy, I know you've been in Kentucky a lot lately, but I hadn't been in Kentucky in probably 5 years. I cannot wait to get back to Mayfield, and it'll be myself, you. We'll be in a big tag match, and then we'll have none other than Jerry the King Lawler will be there with us. Tommy, that should be a big night in Mayfield, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Somebody say something about, hey, that is the start of the trip too, man. Mayfield, Kentucky. Been wrestling a lot up there with Wildfire Championship wrestling on the other side of Kentucky. But hey, Mayfield, Kentucky, that's the area we started out, and I did back when Nick Goulas and Jared, they were promoting the stuff, and we go way up in them old Kentucky hills, man, and just met some of the finest folks you ever come across. So I'm real excited. Hey, and there's some big matches. It's going to be a big show there, too. And from there, and like you said, Jerry the King Lawler going to be there. Hey, I'd like to jump on him. Hey, back in the day, if he turned his back, I'd jump on him.
and say, Gene, that's June 12th, right?
That's right, June the 12th, Mayfield Mayhem right there for Pro Wrestling Entertainment. Got that going on. And then that's not all. That's going to be a big weekend for you guys because
but to all the folks that's going to be there, we'll be there early outside and like a little meet and greet I think they're having before the show. We'll be outside in pictures, taking pictures, shaking hands, whatever you want. If you want to meet Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Tommy Wildfire Rich, we'll be there early. We'll be out shaking hands, signing autographs. Just, y'all come out, man. It's going to be a good family-oriented thing. And in Mayfield, Kentucky, that's where I started. And hopefully ain't everybody passed away, but their kids is there. I'm a dinosaur now, man. So when I go to these towns and there's some old folks that still remember Tommy Wildfire Rich, man, that it's a blessing. And I always get excited about going to these towns. And then Gene, the next 2 days we're in Metropolis, a Superman thing. I'm looking forward to seeing all the characters and folks dressed up. No Jerry the King Lawler. I've been to his house, man. He got a Batmobile. He got a Superman statue. I mean, if there's anybody into the Marvels, King is. And, so it's going to be a good weekend there in Metropolis, but really excited about Mayfield, Kentucky.
Gene, would you say Tommy would be a T-Rex or what would he be?
I think that would be fair. It's wild though. Like Jerry Lawler is the king of Memphis. What's that?
You'd be the T-Rex. You got little short arms, not me.
That's fair.
I see Gene walking through that Atlanta airport. It didn't even look like he had no arm.
That's because he was running like O.J. Simpson. Hey, Gene said that ain't even funny.
No, that was last week. We've moved on from that, Tommy. We're not even talking about that anymore.
Hey, now last week I felt sorry for you. This week I'm gonna tell the whole story.
Oh boy. Well, let's hang on to our seat for that one. But see, I was about to put you over. I was about to say that Jerry Lawler's the king of Memphis, and you're the king of Kentucky. But now I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just let you put yourself over. But man, Metropolis, the 13th and the 14th. So there you go, 12th, 13th, 14th, big weekend for the Memphis Mafia. You guys are going to be on the road and getting the opportunity to meet with a lot of great fans up there. So that's exciting.
And Gene, it's cool to me. I don't know, he's probably wrestled in Metropolis before, but actually I haven't. This will be my first time coming to Metropolis, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm a big Superman fan also, which they tell me everything that goes on up there has got something to do with Superman. And I mean, there's supposed to be a ton of people up there, and a ton of people signing stuff and a lot of different things to see and everything. So it's going to be an exciting time for me up there, like I said, Friday and Saturday also.
Very cool stuff, folks. Make sure you come and check it out. And if you want any more details, you can go to our Facebook page, which is, once again, it says Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. We got that straightened out finally, Doug. I didn't get to tell you that, but that was last night. So everything is back as it was there on the Facebook page. And speaking of the Facebook page, we've added some videos from our Philadelphia trip. 18,000 people have looked at the video of Doug and the Meanie talking and Meanie showing that picture of you and him and Eddie in 1991.
What did he tell us he was 18 then or something?
Yes, sure did.
And that was 94?
91.
91.
It was a trip to Memphis in 91 there. So
yeah.
a lot of people's looked at that, but a lot of people, 20,000 people so far, have looked at the video of Tommy and his former tag team partner, Tony Atlas, sitting around telling some stories about when they were tag team partners. Tony tells the story of how Tommy became Wildfire and how he set the northern part of the territory on fire up there. So I thought, well, people are interested in it right now. What better time just to take a little bit of time on this episode and talk a little bit about the tag team of Tommy Rich and Tony Atlas. Tommy, what can you tell us? What are your memories of first meeting Tony Atlas when he came to Georgia?
Well, my first dealings with Tony is I had a little family problem. So Jerry Jarrett got me booked in Georgia, and he told me, he said, if you get there and you don't like it, he said, I'll tell Mr. Barnett something, just get you out gracefully. So anyway, I get there. I had me a long red, white velvet robe made. Thought I was speaking to go make a big move. Anyway, Ole Anderson was a damn booker, and he's a booker and a booger both. That's a nice word for a booger. Yeah, but anyway, and Ole looked at me and told me, he said, hey, kid, he said, you're going to go out there and that dude's going to beat you in 30 seconds. You're going to bleed. Tony Atlas is going to come save you. Thought, boy, I need to go call Jerry right now. So anyway, I went out there, but then people went crazy. When they seen me, they went crazy. I don't know. I was kind of like Elvis, I reckon.
Hey,
I don't know. But,
they ain't never seen nothing like you, had they?
No, I know, because they's all big guys and stuff, and I just had that blonde hair, but anyway, I went out and that dude beat me, and I was sitting over there with my head down between my legs and feeling sorry for myself, and anyway, that dude told me, he said, I'll give that back to you one day, kid. I thought, yeah, right, so. But anyway, so out of that, I was sitting over and Tony Atlas come up to me and he talked to me and he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then, of course, he come out and saved me. He was wearing a hood. Well, the hood come off. So anyway, they ended up teaming us together and we won the tag belts. And we ran about 3 or 4 years there in Georgia. and wasn't nothing there no hotter than we were. I mean, they had different angles come through that drawing money, but we was hot. I mean, we was like, of course, and then you figure back then, I mean, they in Cummings, Georgia, they said they still had a sign that said that word, don't let the sun set on your ass. We supposed, well, you talking about speaking about Tony one night, we supposed to wrestle in Cummings, Georgia. And me and Tony always went together. And he told me, he said, I'm going to drive up, brother. He said, I'm going to drive up to Cummings. And I didn't think that about it. Well, he done went to Ole and told him he wasn't coming because of that sign. And so anyway, I get to the matches. Ole looks at me. He said, where's Tony at? I said, I don't know. I said, he said he was going to drive up here. He started saying that GD word. He said, he ain't coming. Sure enough, Tony didn't come either. Yeah.
Can't blame him.
But like at the airport, you know, I had my first two babies, and he would put one on each shoulder. I mean, Tony was like family, and you know, I mean, he had his ups and downs, and you know, but he was always good to me and good to my family, you know. So I mean, just a great guy that got me opened up. I mean, you know, I mean, I might not have never got to break. We had to be the first salt and pepper tag team, you know. I mean, but we just clicked good together. I was a little cornbread kid. He was Mr. USA, so it was a good combination. Kind of like Jerry Tojo Yamamoto. You know, it's just a good combination.
Right. Who would you have been, Jerry Tojo in that combination?
Oh, Gene would have been Tojo most of the time. I can see him living around selling that foot.
Oh, Tommy, you shut your mouth.
Ooh, with that old sour face Tojo May. Ooh.
Oh. If I'd have had them wooden shoes that he wore, I sure enough would have my foot blistered if I'd have been walking through Atlanta in them things.
Hey, I don't know. You might have been better off in the little wooden shoes.
Could be. So it's been popular in the past when we've kind of went through and read results from different shows you guys were on. So I thought, well, let's go through and take a look at some of the shows you and Tony were on. Give you guys an opportunity to talk about some of these different people on the shows and comment on some of the matches. And you talked about you and Tony becoming tag team champions. Well, September the 9th, 1977, you guys were in the Georgia Tag Team Title Tournament in Atlanta at the Municipal Auditorium. So let's go through some of the matches that night. Opening match of the tournament, and we'll be interested to see if you know who this is. Richard Blood and Stephen Littlebear defeated Dick Slater and Jacques Goulet. Do you know who Richard Blood was at the time?
Yeah, he was my roommate. He was my roommate.
You would think that.
He was your roommate, Tommy?
Yeah, me and him lived together. Mercedes Solis was his real name. Then he come Tito Richard Blood, and then went up there with Tito Santana. Yeah, me and him lived together.
Well, I guess I was wrong. I thought it was Steamboat. Was it not Steamboat?
Yeah, see, that's what's weird, Doug. Richard Blood was Ricky Steamboat's real name. And for some reason, when Tito came to Georgia, he adopted the name Richard Blood as his ring name.
Mr. Barnett did that for real.
Okay, is that who gave it to him? All right, well, that makes more sense then. And he actually took on that name. So a lot of times when people go back and look at old results, they assume that was Ricky Steamboat. Well, that's the same reason you did, because that was Steamboat's name. But it actually was Tito Santana.
I was fixing to say, I guess he used actually his real name, but did he ever use that name or no?
I think he did when he first went to the Carolinas before I guess it was whoever was Booker at the time.
John Ringling?
Scott, maybe it was Ringling or one of the Scotts said that, they had big success with Sam Steamboat in there a year or two prior and wanted to,
Probably George Scott.
Probably George Scott, exactly.
Okay.
I remember seeing that in a Ricky Steamboat documentary that he got that name there, but he did do a handful of matches with Richard Blood, and they were like, "That's not a babyface. Like we can't call it babyface Richard Blood."
And who else was in it?
It is. Actually, Richard Blood's a good babyface name if you're Indian. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, teaming with Stephen Little Bear. That was his partner, was Stephen Little Bear, and they defeated Dick Slater and Jacques Rene Goulet, who would later be one of the Legionnaires with the future Don Fargo.
Yeah. Don Fargo.
There's a fun name, right? So then in the second match of the tournament, Tommy Wildfire Rich and Tony Atlas, now listen to this team, defeated Dino Bravo and Don Kernodle. What do you remember about those guys, Tommy?
Well, God bless Dino, man. He was, I mean, you talk about a for real Italian. He was a for real Canadian Italian. You know, I mean, my brief time I was with him, he was he was badass and heck of a worker, though, do anything you ask him to do. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, God bless him. I know he's gone now, but he was a wild man.
Well, you know, a lot of people are going to remember the 1990s blonde-haired, big, huge muscled up Dino Bravo. But in this era, 1977, he was a lot smaller guy. He moved around the ring, did a lot of scientific wrestling. This is a completely different guy you wrestled in 77 than what most people are picturing when they hear the name Dino Bravo, right?
Well, damn. Well, I guess I'm picturing Dino Bravo, yeah.
I mean, he hadn't found the steroids in 77.
He wasn't the world's strongest man at that point. What you're saying?
No, sir. He wasn't even Canada's strongest man at that point. But any memories of Don Kernodle?
Oh, Don, man. Yeah, him and his brother Wally. His brother Wally, man. They was in Georgia. I only loved Don Kernodle. And but hey, Don could wrestle his tail off. I mean, he was good. He just didn't have that it factor, you know. He was a heck of a wrestler.
Next match in the tournament. Now listen to this one. Here's a heck of a match. The Andersons, Gene and Ole Anderson, defeated Dusty Rhodes and Thunderbolt Patterson. How over was Thunderbolt at that time in 77, Tommy? He was a pretty big deal at that point, right? And Dusty's just now coming along in 77.
Yeah, I mean, just Thunderbolt was hard to get along with, you know. I mean, he put butts in. I mean, butts was in the seats. Yes, sir, you're right. He was over like a son of a gun. Yes, sir.
Next match, Pak Song and the Executioner defeated Bill White and Randy Savage. So, Bill White would later go on to be, was it Radamias, I think is how you pronounce that name. He did in ICW, did a little bit in Memphis too. And then Pak Song, Asian heel, if you will. But do you know who the Executioner is here, Tommy?
One of the other ones.
No, this one is not. It's Bob Remus, a.k.a. Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Look that up and then confirm that. So to think that Sergeant Slaughter is teaming with Pak Song here, that's a pretty interesting tag team. So
yeah, you ain't like.
So going into the semifinals. Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
No, I was just going to say Pak Song. I wrestled him when he was managed by Rock Hunter, man. And I had some good matches, draw money with him. He was a character too, Pak Song was.
And he got a lot of heat back in the day, right? I mean, that was a pretty...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which one of y'all come up with his name?
Rock Hunter.
So in the semifinals, Tommy and Tony Atlas defeated Danny Little Bear and Richard Blood, a.k.a. Tito Santana. And then in the next semifinal match, Pak Song and the Executioner. I was kind of surprised at this. Pak Song and the Executioner, Sergeant Slaughter, defeated the Andersons, Gene and Ole, to advance into the tournament, into the finals, where Tommy and Tony defeated Pak Song and the Executioner to win the Georgia Tag Team titles in the tournament that night.
I need to get a copy of that. Tell Sergeant Slaughter I beat him.
Hey, it sounds like they got their money's worth out of Tommy that night, didn't it?
Man, they did. I felt like one of them Eddie Marlin USWA deals
Swear
there.
to God, I was thinking to say that. I was thinking to say that's the Eddie Martin show there.
Was Doug supposed to be your partner that night, Tommy?
I don't know where Doug was.
So you guys would go on to drop those titles. That was on the 9th. You guys would go on to drop those titles on the 16th, back to Pak Song and the Executioner. So short-lived title reign there. But then on November the 15th in Macon, Georgia, now here's an interesting card. Opening match, Jerry Stubbs defeated Ted Allen. We talked about Jerry Stubbs quite a bit on the show. What do you guys remember about Ted Allen, the Nightmare?
Oh, Ted was. I mean, he was good. He did the Nightmare thing with Danny, I think. After Kenny Wayne went up, whatever happened to him. But anyway, yeah. But Ted was good. He brought he held the ring, he wrestled, whatever they needed him to do, he did. I mean, he was one of them. You don't see that no more. These guys today, they don't know nothing about none of that. Ted Allen, he was strict. I mean, he was a utility man. Yeah.
And I mean, it's two great wrestlers. I mean, Jerry Stubbs was a great worker for. I mean, wherever you wanted to use him at.
He went and Jerry. You talk about Jerry, he went on and did the Mr. Olympic thing down in Continental, I mean, he drawed some money.
Yeah, for Watts in Louisiana, he was really over. I mean, really over as a baby face and really over as a heel also. And I mean, he was
tagged with JYD and kind of did the work for JYD until JYD kind of came along. So
right. I mean, he was the Louisiana heavyweight champion. I mean, he actually done more stuff, I think, that people really realized.
Then he gets credit for
Right. And under the hood is Mr. Olympia. Like you said, he was partners with JYD. And I mean, they was like the top tag team down there for a good while. And I mean, drew a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of that. You can find a lot of that on like the WWE Network and YouTube. And they were quite the tag team. And of course, eventually Jerry turned on him and they had a great feud after that as well.
And I mean, like I told you before, Gene, Jerry taught me a whole lot. My brother put me in a program with him, and Jerry was just a good, solid worker. He could do everything. It wasn't just one thing. He could do everything well.
He's a guy I hope we can get on the show and talk to eventually. I think we can probably find a way to get in touch with Jerry and maybe eventually have him on.
I'm going to tell you, if people like Arn Anderson's work, I think Arn got a lot from Jerry. Jerry and Arn was tag partners before Arn even thought about Tully coming along. But in Florida, and Tommy was around in and out during that time, I think, when Jerry and Arn was partners. They was like the tag team heel-wise down there. But, I mean, I think Arn learned a whole lot from Jerry. So, I mean, people who like Arn's work, they sure like Jerry's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arn has given him a lot of credit over the years in interviews and everything, and said how much that Jerry shaped him, because that was before he tagged with Ole or any of that down there.
That was before he'd been around anybody in Georgia or anything. That was just the Florida, the Alabama, Florida territory, the Continental, as Tommy calls it, territory.
I wish more footage of that existed for like around 84 and 85. They did that. A lot of that's not on tape, but I know, Doug, you've talked about how some of the greatest tag matches you've seen was Arn and Jerry Stubbs from that era. So I wish we could see more of it. It just doesn't exist, unfortunately.
Yeah, and people don't realize, Arn was coming along and good, but Jerry was the one that, the leader of the tag team, and Arn kind of followed him. And like I said, Arn was really good. But, Jerry was the freaking man at that point and everything. He was really good. Like I said, I got to work with him in a program, and man, you're talking about just a smooth, and Jerry was an athlete. You're talking about cardio, everything as far as going. He could go all night if you wanted to. And I really always respected him a lot.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, if you're not real familiar with Jerry Stubbs or Mr. Olympia, go out of your way to look him up on YouTube, watch some of his matches, and you'll be impressed. Second match on the card that night, Raymond Rougeau defeated Butch Malone. And so I'm sure this is very early in the career of Raymond Rougeau. They felt kind of out of place, I'm sure, in Georgia in 77. But this next match doesn't feel out of place. Bullet Bob Armstrong defeats Abdullah the Butcher in a one-on-one match. I'm sure that was these next three matches are pretty interesting. You got Bob defeated Abdullah. Then we got a Georgia tag team title match where Tommy and Tony Atlas regained, well, let me back up. Jacques Goulet and Ole Anderson have now won the Georgia tag team titles. Tommy and Tony Atlas defeat Goulet and Ole to win the Georgia tag team titles. Tommy, you wrestled Ole with just a variety of partners over the years, and we know, how Ole was to deal with behind the scenes, and could be kind of grumpy, and you've kind of even relayed that here. But how was he to work with in the ring?
Oh, Ole was, Ole was good. I mean, Ole was about drawing money. But that's what kept me so good is I'd have me a run in my singles. I'd do singles, and then they'd bring Wahoo or Tony Atlas or who it might be. They would team me up, and I'd have another run. That's the reason my longevity was so good in Georgia, because I'd do singles and tags,
But
it kept me pretty fresh.
But I don't know. He might have been too fresh because Wahoo left him one time.
Yeah, I signed autographs. He got mad. Two pretty little gals. I signed their autograph. He went off and left me in Columbus, Georgia. I had to get the plane back. Terry didn't pick me up at the airport, and I hauled ass. And he just thought I got that town, and I shouldn't even went because it'd been his fault. But that's what we did back then. We just drew. Anyway, he thought that was funny as shit.
Doug, with you being a Tennessee boy, did you see a lot of the Andersons back in the late 70s, early 80s period?
No. They only come in here like 2 or 3 times. I remember him coming in here working, and it was freaking. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do. And I mean, in Georgia, it was business, like Tommy said, and everything, but he didn't give a crap about this territory here, which, I mean, I'm sure he was a business guy, but I think he was a grumpy fellow, like pretty much everybody says and everything. But I seen it's just like he want to freaking, I wouldn't call it chain wrestling, just like he want to grab a hold of, like he was they brought one time him and, Dusty, and it was him and I think Arn and Tully against Lawler, Dusty, and maybe Magnum or something in here one time. And man, which I don't think he liked Lawler being over as much as Lawler was over, and he didn't want Lawler to overshadow them, so he just tried the whole match just kind of hold Lawler. It was just kind of a screwed up deal, but he come in another time or two, but it wasn't never like I'm not sure what they brought him in for, to be honest, because it wasn't, I've heard people that have got a lot of respect for him say he always worked hard and everything, but when he come to Memphis, it wasn't so much that way.
So listen to this main event on this event here in Macon. Main event, NWA Georgia heavyweight title match. Stan Hansen defeated Dick Slater by disqualification. That would have been a fun match to see, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dig it tough. Dick Slater, he was over in Georgia too. Yeah, that had to be a hell of a event.
Yeah, and I mean both of them guys were so over. Tommy says Georgia, from Georgia to Japan to everywhere else. Both of them went. I wrestled Slater in Japan, and you talking about. I've been in easier fights in the street than in a couple of those matches, and he liked me. I mean, I love Slater. I thought he was great, like Slater, Murdoch, and those type guys. I loved all them guys and got along with them good, and I got along with Slater real well. I told Tommy about it before, but being in Japan on tours like with them guys for 3 and 4 weeks at a time, man, you talking about a trip. Which I mean, I really idolized those guys, and they was really. Slater was one of the toughest. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but he was freaking tough, wasn't he, Tommy?
Yeah, Diggy, yeah. I seen when Cornette or Fuller's, when they had the 2 territories there up in the Smoky Mountain, I seen him, Bob Orton, get into it. Yeah, I got them split up, but yeah, neither one of them giving in. Yeah.
Speaking of how tough Dick Slater is, there's a famous story from the Bill Watts era. I know your brother was there, Doug. I don't know if you would have been around at this point. This might have been right before you would have come along. The Sting story.
Yeah, that was a year before I started. But I mean, I went down there for the summer, I think, of when that happened. But it's the truth. My brother talked to me about it a bunch, but he said that he was afraid. And it probably wouldn't, if it wasn't for him, it probably went a lot worse than it did. But yeah, Slater punched Sting a couple of times, put his head in the toilet. And I think Eddie was telling him, just don't kill him.
Yeah.
So, which he wasn't wanting Slater to get in trouble, which he wasn't wanting Sting to get hurt either. But somewhere or another, who was Slater's girlfriend, Dark Journey, wound up some way with Sting, and they showed up at the building, and it didn't go very well for Steve from on when the Ultimate Warrior, which was Steve's partner, was with him, I think, at that time, but he wasn't going to do nothing. Which when Slater come in, he brought Murdoch in with him. I mean, they walked in together, and they wasn't nobody going to say nothing to Slater, but he just commenced the beating. And like I said, it was so bad he wound up going and sticking his head in the toilet. I don't know if y'all actually heard that, but
yeah, I heard that story.
Yeah, but it's the truth. That I mean, it is the truth. But I mean, like I said, it was.
I heard Tracy Smothers tell that story, and he was there, and that's exactly what he said. That he said if it wasn't for Eddie, that would have went way worse for Sting. That Eddie knew Sting was going to get something, but that once he felt like he got enough, that Eddie was like, okay, you got him, just please, just
Stop.
That's enough.
Yeah, that's kind of the story I got out of it. But I mean, all that is the truth. It ain't just no folk tale or anything. But that was, and the whole deal, it winds up a lot of things go back to what starts stuff. But I'm not saying it was her fault or nothing, but a woman is what about got his clock waxed.
Yep. That's how that goes a lot of times.
Waxed pretty good when he stuck his head in the toilet.
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying is over there, you talking about just funny, but I mean, it was just, I mean, most of the guys were tough, but like I said, Slater was one of them that they said, I've heard Steve Kern say before, talk about how tough all the guys was in Florida that come through Eddie Graham, and he said that Slater was the toughest. So coming through that era, Tommy, in Florida, that's when all them guys was freaking tough, right? All the Briscoes was before that, but they was talking about if you wanted to send somebody, or if Eddie Graham wanted anybody to freaking fight or whatever, he'd send Slater. So that right there says something on its own. I mean, Slater was like one of the toughest of all of them. Just go, and he didn't care. They said he would just go fight somebody for no reason.
Oh, Dean told me a story one time where the boy, his daddy was a big lawyer, and I think he might have been trained to be a lawyer. But anyway, he started dating Dickie's ex-girlfriend. Dickie, something happened. Anyway, Dickie come up on him and just literally pulled his hair out by the roots. I mean, yeah, he didn't play. Dickie didn't play a bit.
Whew, that's rough. So,
hey, but the bottom line is good. He was a good friend of mine. I mean, he stayed in his lane. As long as you didn't make him get out of his lane, he's cool.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of fun Dick Slater stories out there, folks. You'll hear a lot.
Let me give you one more fun fact about Dick Slater. He had one of them Porsche Carreras or Carmageddon, whatever you call it. Anyway, it had a little bitty back seat. Well, we was up in Tennessee wrestling. It was, speaking of Tony Atlas, it was me, Tony Atlas, and Dickie, and we was in his Porsche. And so anyway, we're going to a town, and well, they would buy M80s. And when you go up the country, if you run across one of the boys, they try to throw and make it blow up under their car. Boy, so we passed one of the boys, and Dickie's throwing them things out. And me and Tony, we laughing our butts off. And all of a sudden Dickie went to throw one and hit the damn side of the car and it bounced back in. And it blew up. It blew up in that car. And there was smoke like chicken chaw everywhere. Smoke everywhere. Tony's going, GD, Dickie, GD, don't be playing it. It was funny as hell for a few minutes. But when that happened, Tony started testifying to it. Tony, yeah. Oh, yeah. But that thing blowed up in that car. I mean, it was loud.
That's funny.
That's awesome. So we'll jump ahead a couple of years here to October of 1979. We're not going to go through the whole card here, but there's a couple of interesting matches here. Sterling Golden wrestled Stan Hansen to a disqualification.
Hey, Gene, I was 9 then. How old were you? About 4?
I was 2. I was born in July of 77, so I was about 2 years old. So you guys, so Sterling Golden, Hulk Hogan wrestling Stan Hansen when he's only like a year or so into the business. I'm sure that was quite the matchup there.
I'm sure that didn't go very well.
I'm sure it was too, because Ole didn't like him because he didn't know what to do with him. So I'm sure Stan beat the shit out of him.
I was fixed. I'm sure it didn't go very well for Hogan.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't think so. Because I mean that's a damn shame. If I didn't know what to do with him, he'd had Hulk Hogan. But anyway, he didn't, and it is what it is. But yeah, if he wrestled Stan, I'm sure he had a tough night.
So then you got a tri-state North American title match. Mr. Wrestling 2 defeated King Kong Mosca. So I'm sure that one was a barn burner. But listen to this tag team match, Doug. Tommy Rich and Tony Atlas defeated Austin Idol and superstar Billy Graham by disqualification. What a tag team that is.
I bet y'all had a good match, Tommy. Would you imagine?
Oh, yeah. I know it had to be. I mean, I remember, hey, and that's the first time I met superstar Billy Graham. He was very nice to me. Of course, it was just, hey, how you doing? We had a match. But, yeah, the match went really good.
That would have had to been Gene after he left working for Vince, right?
Yeah, that would have been after that run up there, and I mean,
he'd been the WWF World Champion up there, right? Everything.
Right. Yeah, he'd been world champion up there. He's still superstar Billy Graham. This ain't like the 1985 Kung Fu Billy Graham. Karate days.
Hey, you're going to pop, but I actually like that. I mean, I like the tie-dye superstar.
I did too.
I love that, but y'all going to laugh at this, but I like the Kung Fu Billy Graham too. I thought that was kind of cool. Did you ever see that, Tommy? Like when he done he wore like karate pants and did all the karate type, all the gestures anyway. I don't know that he was a karate master or anything.
Yeah.
Ain't that what he done all the...
Oh, yeah. He would come out to that old song, Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. And he mimicked like he knew karate. I don't know that Billy Graham knew a lick of karate, but he had his head shaved completely bald. And he had karate pants. And
it looked cool.
Yeah.
Hey, look here. I've been biting my tongue this whole show. I mean, I've been biting my tongue. So we're fixing to have a little Mean Gene hour right now. What do you think, Gene?
All right. Let's.
Okay. Say you were sold out. As Ricky Moore was saying, they were hanging from the rafters, Gene told me.
That's what they say.
Anyway, hey, and you was the main event match too, I heard.
I did. I closed the show. I was the last person. I don't know if you would I guess in comedy terms you call it the main event, but yes, I did close the show, if you will.
Now, I told Gene I'd had a lot of people told me it was a good night and a good turnout and everything, and I told Tommy where y'all was at, and I told him.
Well, I had a lot of negativity. So anyway, I need you to do one of your things you did. Do a skit for me.
You can't just say, "Hey, tell me a joke on a freaking podcast."
You can't sit down and do stand up, can you, Gene?
No, you can't.
Oh, I guarantee you, I'll have these people cracking by telling the dead gum airport story.
Well, yeah, I told the airport story last week, but that's the
Oh,
difference
yeah,
between
not
telling
like
a
that.
story and doing your material on a freaking podcast.
Ladies
And knowing you're not going to sell it no matter what. It could be the funniest joke ever. You would sit there stone faced and be like, well, that sucked, Gene.
Oh, no, you can't be on this. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend from Gadsden, Alabama, had the opportunity to fly to Birmingham, but it's a lot cheaper to fly out of Atlanta. Had to walk 40 minutes, could have got on the train, but he didn't get on the doggone train. No, I ain't gonna bug you. But yeah, that you could do you did tell the folks about that, didn't you?
No, it wasn't part of it. I didn't have enough time to set all the context to that. And,
I would have limped up on that stage and had them wondering what happened. I was like, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me in this limp foot. And then I told that story.
Well, you get me booked out there in Myrtle Beach somewhere, and I'll come out there and tell that story on stage.
Hey, while y'all sending you questions in and want some answers, just ask Gene about his trip to Atlanta to Philly on the airplane. Ask him what happened to his old foot that I had to heal for him.
Yeah, Dr. Tommy. There's a video. That's another video that's getting a lot of views too. Is you fixing Doug's neck with your chiropractic skills? So
he's really good. If anybody needs the neck fixed or back fixed, that's my man right there. He can do it for you.
That's right. So if you got any ailments, come to Metropolis, Illinois, or Mayfield.
But Gene, have you got any more? Have you got any more dates booked that we need to plug for you on your stand-up tour?
No, not right now. I've had people wanting to book me, but I've got all these books and podcasts and all this stuff to work on. So I really don't have time for it. So that was just kind of a one-off to help my buddy Richard out, his first show that he's ran. So I just kind of did that as a fun thing.
Kidding aside, man, I heard you did really good.
Well, yeah. I appreciate it. I had a good time. Like I said, I hadn't did it in a year, so I really completely expected to go up there and eat shit. I really did. And then I got there, and a couple other people did really well, and my good buddy Neil, promoter of EPW, and his fiance were there, and a few other friends showed up, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm fixed to go up there and just attack this thing, and I'm either gonna go out in a blaze of glory, or I'm just gonna completely die up here. And it's just one of them nights. I mean, you guys know how it is, like in the ring. Some nights just everything works, and it just the odds are in your favor. And I had a good night that night, so I appreciate Richard, putting me on the show, and all the folks that I was friends with that come out to see it. And I'll do it again eventually.
Gene, are they going to try to do this like once a month, or is he going to try to set it up to do it?
Yeah, the bar had one of their biggest crowds they've had for anything, from what I'm told. They were really pleased, and I hear they're going to try to book more shows there. So.
Now, whenever you're there next time, you need to in your act when you're going over it. I'll tell you the whole story about me and Tommy sitting in that building across the way, and us getting dressed, and Tommy saying that was the best dressing room in the world. It was stocked full of beer. Any cooler you went to, there was a different brand of beer. And I figured since there wasn't nobody in there, there wouldn't be nothing in there to drink, like I wanted water or something. But now it was stocked with everything. But I mean, it was a bar before, so it was full of every kind of beer that there was.
That guy told me that was for me. They didn't know what kind I wanted.
And then leaving there, this one night we wrestled there like 3 times in the place that you performed at. Mm-hmm. And leaving there one night, me and Tommy went back to Memphis and stayed, and we got the TV that next morning, and Jamie Dundee and Wolfie come in, and both of their eyes, they had black eyes and stuff, but usually that was from them getting into a fight with each other, and one of them would black the other one's eyes. But this night going back, they was going back, and they was both sleepy. And I think it was Jamie driving, and he had his feet on the gas and the brake. And he said he told Wolfie he was going to sleep. So Wolfie grabbed the steering wheel, and he was driving the car from the passenger seat. But they was both a little bit intoxicated. So Jamie's driving asleep, and Wolfie's got the wheel. And he said he remembered shutting one eye and having one eye open. and they wound up running right under the back of somebody and totaling. But they wound up, the people knew who they was from TV, and they wound up not. I mean, I don't know how they got out of it without any police or any trouble or anything, but both of them's face was all freaking black and blue, and the car was totaled. It wasn't their car. It was I think some young lady's car that they was in, but the car was totaled, and they looked, and I said, "What happened to y'all?" Which I didn't thought they just got in a fight, because they fight with each other quite often, and black each other's eyes and stuff. And they said, "Man, we was in a car wreck. How did you and Tommy make it back?" I said, "Me and Tommy made it fine back," which I wasn't even having a drink, and it didn't matter if Tommy was drinking or not. He wasn't going to pass out or nothing. And but yeah, that's one of the funny things that you remember. I remember that from that bar deal. Like I said,
that was Randy Hale's downfall, because after that he started having to make sure they come to the show.
And but that was the guy that, like I told you, Gene, that owns those buildings. He's mine and Tommy's buddy. He'd ride with me and Tommy and take us in limousine down to the Coliseum some Monday nights.
Nice. That's a true tag team right there. When one of you is asleep with your foot on the pedal and the other one's steering. Y'all ever do any tag team driving like that, guys?
Hey,
y'all were traveling.
That got over with me. Now, Tommy'd hold the wheel sometimes when I was doing other things, but
yeah, you didn't go to sleep.
If it got to that point, we pull over and get a run.
Yeah, but I mean, at certain points, I was probably doing other things I might not have should have been doing. I didn't have my hands on the wheel, and Tommy might hold the wheel for a minute. But no, we never got to that point where I was over there asleep and Tommy was driving or anything.
Well, sometimes I had to get Wolfie to hold the wheel while I did stuff. Not what you said I did, Doug, but I would do things and Wolfie would steer, but we never wrecked.
Oh, my goodness. The one, I don't know if Tommy remembers this or not, but the one night they, bless her heart, the car hit the wall, and it was when Jeff was working here. Remember when Jeff wore that white cowboy hat? Jeff wasn't in the car with him. Do what, Tommy?
I said, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I know. But remember Jeff wore that white cowboy hat, and he had it in a little case? Well, I remember Randy Hills and Wolfie come walking back to the room with the only thing they had in their arm was that white case with Jeff's head in it. They done run into the wall or something in a new Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac and everything. But no, they had some times, but I mean, knock on wood, didn't nobody get hurt or nothing. So that's a good thing about those times.
That's good, because there's a lot of wild stories.
Where was they at when they hit the wall? Where was they at?
They was coming around, to get on the interstate around the freaking, what I'm trying to say, like when you go on the roundabout type deals, but into the concrete wall. Yeah, they hit the wall, and the car stopped.
Was Randy Hales with them too?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think he was at the hotel, and Wolfie was in the car, maybe. I don't know.
He let him borrow the car. That's right. He let him borrow it.
Yeah, he let him borrow his new car, and I think they hit the concrete wall.
That's never a good idea. Let those guys borrow your new car.
No, that wasn't probably a good thing. But then again, he sold me one. He sold me a town car. Me and Tommy put about 200,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, but he didn't give it to me. He sold it to me, but he probably gave me a good deal.
Now, hey, Tommy, I got a question for you. Now, you ragged on me about the foot thing, but I got a question that people are asking me. So that video, one of the videos we recorded there, where you and Doug were promoting, coming out to the show that day. People swear that we did this on purpose. Whenever I started shooting y'all, and you're like, "Oh, start over," and I was like, "Oh, we're live, pal." They thought we did that as a bit because, that was something with Sid was on pay-per-view one time, and he said, "Hey, let's start over." And Jim Ross said, "We're live, pal," and they had to keep going. So people thought we set that up on purpose just to be funny. But can you let everybody know that was legit, that you didn't realize we were live? You thought I was just recording y'all, right? That wasn't something we planned.
No, I did that because of Sid.
I believe you're out. Master comedian Tommy Rich did that on purpose.
My cornbread self thought we could cut it, actually.
Well, I'll take the blame on that one because, to be fair, everything we had done up to that point was all just me recording stuff for later. That was the first one we did live, so I don't blame you for not thinking it was live.
And I don't even know, did you say this is live, Gene? Or
yeah, I did. I said, hey, let's shoot a live video that'll go out right now, and you can tell people to come out today because they're actually going to see it on Facebook. And I guess all Tommy heard was, let's shoot a video. He didn't hear none of that in between. And so he gets started and he stops and goes, hey, let's start that over. I'm like, we're live, pal. Let's keep going. And you're like, no, let's start over. Like, we're live. And then you picked it back up. But that one's had like 3,000 or 4,000 views. So people had a lot of fun with that one too. And I'll tell you another video, that match of you and Terry Funk from the ECW arena, we're now up to 427,000 views on that video on the Dangerous Conversations Facebook. So,
is that right?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We appreciate everybody that goes on our page and watches all those videos.
Wolfie D sent me something about that yesterday. Something about me in the match with Terry Funk. He said that was good. All I can remember any match I was with Terry, I mean, that was good, but he just beat the shit out of me. I don't remember any guy.
Those punches look so real.
He just knocked a dog stink out of me. But that's the way they wrestled back then. I mean, hey, I wouldn't have had it no other way.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to tell Terry Funk to lighten up? I mean, I can't imagine that.
Hell no, because he just hit you hard.
Hit you hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody supporting the page and sharing. A lot of people share the videos and help us get that stuff out there. So we really appreciate it.
Got any questions, man? Y'all send them in because I love to answer questions. Hey, y'all ask Doug some serious ones. Ask me some funny ones. Doug got a lot of serious answers for y'all out there. So if you need to know something serious, ask Doug. You need something humorous, ask me. Or maybe ask Gene, too, because he's humorous.
I mean, if you have any, can they ask you health-related questions now, Dr. Rich? Can they say they have?
Yeah. Oh, I got a remedy. Yeah, we can do remedies. Hey, we can make house calls, can't we?
That's right. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the plan for next week, folks. If you're listening to this right now, send in your questions. You can go and you can place them in the comments of the post, or the easiest way to do it is just shoot us an email, douggilbertpodcast@outlook.com. Send us your questions and we will get them asked right here on the show. I'll ask Doug and Tommy next week. And we've already got a few in. I've got some already waiting, but we need a few more so we can cover a whole show. So please send those questions in, and I would love to ask these guys, and they would certainly love that.
Hey, Gene, can
don't forget, June the 12th, Mayfield, Kentucky. Be there. We'll be out there early, signing autographs, a little meet and greet, and have the matches. Gonna be a big night in Mayfield, and then we're gonna travel on to Metropolis. And hey, I'm getting a little meet Superman. Y'all come out and meet us. Hey, that's gonna be a great weekend.
It sure is, man. I can't wait. Mayfield Mayhem. Myself, Wildfire, Tommy Rich, Jerry, the King, Lawler, all the guys from the past are still going up and down the roads and everything. Man, we're going to have a good time that night. It's going to be a great night of wrestling. Like I said, it's super family friendly and everything. And, man, it's just going to be a big night of wrestling. Like I said, pro wrestling, what is Pro Wrestling Entertainment, Gene? Is that what it is? Pro Wrestling Entertainment, Jason James. He puts on a great show and everything. Man, everybody come on out. And I was just going to tell you, Gene, I want you to get where you can pop this up between me and you and Tommy, since don't nobody else see it, me and you, that picture of yourself. How'd you do that? That's got to be some kind of AI thing, ain't it?
Oh, the one I put up on my Facebook today?
Oh,
yeah. No, that's AI.
Hey, Tommy, wait till you see this picture now.
Yeah, this thing popped up and said, do a picture with AI. So I just clicked on it and it made a picture of me in a suit. I look like freaking Triple H or something. Very weird. And then it made a picture of like me and like Donald Trump. And I thought, well, shit, I can't share that. I'll get unfollowed by a bunch of people and they'll stop listening to our show maybe. Hey, we need your help, folks. Please help us share douggilbertpodcast.com. A lot of people are still having trouble finding the show. They want to know, hey, where can I get t-shirts? Where can I find the different social medias? Where can I buy the Eddie Gilbert book? Well, any question you have about where to find anything, the YouTube channel, any of the different Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of the places you want to hear the podcast, all those links are in one convenient location at douggilbertpodcast.com. So anytime anybody asks you, like, hey, how do I hear that podcast with Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich? Just please tell them douggilbertpodcast.com, and they can find anything they want related to Doug Gilbert and Tommy Rich. So we'd appreciate everybody helping us spread the word on that. It would help us a whole lot.
And man, Tommy, is there anything else we've left out that we need to tell the people about today?
No, just if anybody's got a birthday party or something coming up and want Doug, myself to attend, just give us a call. We'll be glad to come out and party with you.
That's right. These guys will do signings. They'll do parties. They'll do wrestling events. They will do speaking engagements. They will do, Tommy will get up and do a comedy set. If you'd like for him to come up and do some stand-up, he can show me how it's done. Doug might even do it too. So these guys will do whatever you need them to do. Karaoke.
Before long, it's going to be time for tailgate party, and that's what I want.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
But the Memphis Mafia, they are out there. They are burning up the roads, and they want to come to your town, and they want to come and see you. And if you have an event coming up or you know of anything that you want to try to book these guys on, Doug Gilbert podcast at outlook.com. That's where you can send an email for an inquiry, and I will get you in touch with these guys, and we will do our very, very best to make that happen.
And if something happens and you don't remember that, Gene's got about 8 other podcasts that he's on, and if you get a hold of him, he can put you to us.
Absolutely. I'm not hard to find, and I will get you in touch with them, I promise you. And if you haven't yet, make sure you get your hands on your copy of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the Uncrowned King of Professional Wrestling. You can get it at tinyurl.com/Eddie Gilbert book. But like I said, that link and all the others is at douggilbertpodcast.com. People are getting the book already. People are reading it. I'm hearing a lot of great feedback, Doug. I know you are too. I know you've signed a bunch of those already and looking to sign a bunch more.
Man, I have. I've heard a lot of talk about it. Man, I really enjoyed us doing the book and writing it and getting it out and everything. I hope everybody enjoys it as much as we did writing it. And, man, I think it's really cool. It goes back to Eddie's childhood all the way through his career in wrestling. Man, I just think it's a good book, and through my perspective of Eddie's life. And man, I think it's a good story. And man, I hope everybody enjoys it as much as we did writing it.
Absolutely. I'm really proud to have been involved with you in doing that, Doug. And like I said before, if you're familiar with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, the wrestler, you can read this book and hear the stories that Doug and their parents and everybody tells, and you really get a feel for who Eddie Gilbert, the man, was outside the ring, and really come away from it feeling like you know him more so than just, as you would watching on TV. So highly, highly recommend it. And it won't be long before you'll be reading all about Tommy Wildfire Rich. We're about to get started on that, and I'm going to just dig up all the dirt that I can find on Tommy. I'm going to tell it all, and it should be, a lot of fun.
I was fixing to say that might be an encyclopedia.
Woo. You ain't kidding. There might be a few volumes of the Tommy Rich story. And it's all the stuff we can't tell here on the podcast. We try to keep it relatively clean here, but we're going to tell it all even the stuff we can't tell. We're going to tell it in the book. So get ready. I'm going to tell Tommy's story.
I got some.
No, it's going to be great.
Doug's sitting there being quiet.
Doug's like, I got some stories you can throw in there too.
But man. Hey, I was fixing to say, look, me and Tommy was talking about it, and I said, look, when y'all write your book, Tommy, I said, you're just going to have to make up some stuff. I said, because people don't believe some of the stuff that that we wrote and put in Eddie's book. That's the truth. I told Tommy, I said, I guess you just have to be unbelievable for people to actually, I mean, you have to go so far out. I just don't think people, some people realize, as far as, I don't want to say our lifestyle was so much different and everything, but stuff that we didn't think was a big deal or anything that other people think is a really big deal and stuff. And,
I'm gonna end on this note, on this question right here. Hey, when he was 14, my wife was going to whoop my ass. I gave him a piece of candy I shouldn't. He was 14. Oh, my wife give me up and down the road about
I told Tommy the other day, I said, if I said, I know you and Edie did a whole lot of things and good and in your career and everything. I said, but me and that Steve, which Steve's Tommy's younger brother, I said, if we told everything that y'all carried us through and everything, I said, we'd have some stories, wouldn't we? Which me and Steve traveled with me some when Tommy wasn't even around and everything. But I told Tommy, I said, me and Steve could tell some stories. And Tommy started laughing and said, yeah. But anyway, look, fellas, I think we've about covered everything you want to tonight, haven't we, Gene? And
yes, sir. It's been another fun one, and it has flown by. But I guess it's time to take it home, as you guys say.
Well, good deal. Listen, hey, thanks.
Closing in, I would big shout out to my man Jason Mayhem in Mayfield, Kentucky. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a big weekend, June the 12th.
June the 12th, Mayhem, Kentucky. Mayfield Mayhem. June the 12th. June the 13th, June the 14th, Metropolis, Illinois Superman Festival. I want everybody to come out because myself, like at Mayfield, me and Tommy will be there an hour or two early, signing pictures, taking pictures with people. Like I said, super family friendly show. Everybody come on out. And like I said, at the Superman Festival, me and Tommy will be set up during the day. We'll be signing for 3 or 4 hours Friday, 3 or 4 hours Saturday. Then there'll be a show that night where we can see the fans of it also, both nights. But anyway, listen, we want all the fans to come out and see us, and we can't wait. But like I said, peace.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews. Sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com. And to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to USWApodcast.com.
In the heart of Tennessee, born with pride, Doug and Tommy taking rings in stride. Memphis legends never backing down. Wrestling warriors, they wear the crown. USWA, glory in their veins. Fighting legends breaking chains. In the squared circle they made their name. Podcast champions, it's their claim to fame. On the mic they roar, on the map they soar. Dangerous conversations, fans wanting more. Podcast kings ruling the waves. Memphis wrestling raising the stage. From title belts to Hall of Fame, Doug and Tommy carved the name. Fists of fury and hearts of gold. Every story, every fight retold. Tales of glory, laughter, pride. Tennessee warriors with hearts open wide. In the ring or on the air, legends living without a care. On the mic they roar, on the mat they soar. Danger dangerous conversations, fans want to know.